Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome back. Last time we finished our inking, and today we're going to add color with our Copic markers. And once again, I'll put the Copic markers that I'm using into the description. But it's a night scene. There's a lot of grays. Maybe do a purple tone on her outfit, some peach color on her skin. And we'll try to wrap it up today. But again, I'm going to keep my video to about 30 to 40 minutes. So whatever we don't finish today, we will finish next time. Alright, I'm just going to start off with the building on this side. And I'm going to use some of my grays. I have a number of grays here, and I'm going to start with the lightest ones first. My neutral grays. Starting with N1, working my way up to N4. Remember to always use a piece of paper underneath yours, as the Copics are pretty permanent and can saturate your paper pretty well. Again, this is an N1. I'm using my chisel tip. And moving to the N2, just darken it up just a little bit. If you have a limited amount of grays in your set, that's okay. Stuff that colors that you can use as a kind of a substitution, I suppose, would be light blues. This is a night scene, so there's just going to be a lot of grays, but bricks are oftentimes have a reddish hue, so if you want to kind of put a reddish hue on them, you can definitely do that. And as I'm doing the second coat, I'm not trying to cover up everything. I'm trying to leave some of the lighter gray undertone, allowed it to show through a little bit as like reflected light and things like that. And I will continue to do that as I move up from layer to layer. Going to N3. And with Copics, remember, if you do it pretty fast, the blending takes place, and one value should be able to blend into another relatively easily. This is N4, it's the darkest of the four so far. And I'm concentrating on the upper top of the upper part of the brick. With the shadows, and then leaving the lighter values down in the lower half. I'm doing each brick kind of individually to try to keep the individualness. However, you can always go back in and add designs with your ink pen. If you want to add some cracks, you can definitely do that. Just some little details. I'm going to leave that alone for the moment. As I add color in other places, if I want to go darker, I definitely can. I'm going to come over to this building on the opposite side here and pretty much do the same thing. Now this one has some windows, so I'm going to leave the windows alone and try to put in some highlights and if the lights are on inside, make some yellows and things like that. Again, N1, lightest value that I have. Again, this is a neutral gray. Copic makes different types of grays. They make a set of warm grays and also cool grays. So cool grays have like a little, more of a, they're not blue necessarily, but they have a bluish tint, I suppose. Warm grays are a little bit, I wouldn't say on the yellow side, but they're warmer in tone. We also have something called toner gray, which is more, I guess, of a traditional gray, and then neutral gray is what I'm using here. And on the buildings, I'm going to kind of try to do the same thing that I did on the bricks, and just work from the top and just kind of streak down. Again, Gotham City is an older city, so these stone buildings have some wear to it, so it doesn't make sense to just make everything just one tone and make everything look perfect. If you have any issues blending, you can go back in with a lighter value that you've already used, like go back to the N1. And just go over the top so you can blend some of those values together. Just adding a little yellow to the windows, just warm up some of these. It doesn't have to be all of them. Keep some of them with the lights turned off. Take some of these grays and also place them on the uniform, still using the N1. And these gray tones that I acquired with my Copic multi-liners during the last session, just kind of pushing them back a little bit more. When I say pushing them back, I'm talking about visually. If they're real bright, they're going to pop forward, but if they have a little value on them, it kind of pushes them back visually a little bit, which is kind of what we want. Still going to leave those outside areas pretty light. It's more the interior areas that I'm trying to tone down a little bit. Catwoman suit has for years kind of been purple. I think I'm going to wait on that. But what I want to do now is just kind of work in some of the gray undertone of the background. So the sky is going to be kind of a cloudy look. Again, I'm going to stick with my grays. And to get the smoky kind of ethereal look, circular motion works best. And you're not trying to cover everything up. You want some of the light to continue to show through, and that could be lights in the distance, things like that. I mean, we have a pretty strong light source with the moon and everything like that, so I try to get a little bit lighter as we go up. This is a number 2 neutral gray. And again, if you want to achieve a blend relatively quickly, do one section at a time if you like. So just kind of working in with an N3. Same technique. But the more random you are, the more natural it will appear to be. Big backgrounds like this can kind of use a lot of your colors. So you gotta work smart. This is going to dull the background, so as you're looking at Catwoman, she won't be quite so, to blend in a little bit more on the darker background. So this is my N1, this is my lightest gray that I have, so I'm going to attempt to do a halo effect around the moon. The moon is obviously very full, very large compositional element of our piece. I may do some texture on the moon. Let me just leave it. We're going to give it an eggshell white. If we can find the right color mixture. The markers that we have. Off-white. But still kind of circular motion. Losing it a little bit. Alright, I'm going to take the plunge here and start to apply some purple. Now, this purple is a blue violet. It's Copic BV08, and it's pretty. It dries a little lighter than it goes on, so I'm not trying to lose all the work that I did underneath because it's pretty oppressive. So I might try to find a slightly lighter one. We'll see how this dries. Alright, well I kind of saved the best for last. Last thing we're going to have to do is just some final touch-ups. We're going to put some color on the backpack, finish the whip down here, make that a little bit darker, and then of course the face and everything else. So that's going to take a little bit of time. We don't want to rush that because that's a pivotal point of the drawing. But we are nearly out of time for this video, so thank you very much for joining us. I will post probably a little shorter video to just finish this up for next time. But again, thanks for joining us. If you like this video and want to see others, please click subscribe so that you never miss a new edition. If you have any requests for characters that we can do for you, please put those in the comments. Thanks so much, and God bless.